want the best fan-made content for this Premier League season?
Bringing that real fan experience. Want to see some crazy?
Wherever you are in the world,
bringing you the latest opinions
and fan reactions.
Back again.
Welcome to FanPark Live.
Brand new shows every week.
UFF are going hard this year, you know. So make sure you lock in.
Celebrate you, come on!
Get all your football news as it breaks with Football Flash.
Hello and welcome back to FanPark Live. Arsenal 4, Woeful Fulham 1. Decent performance from Arsenal today in terms of going forward, created many chances, scored many goals, but equally another disappointing day for them defensively. 2 gilt-edged chances missed by Ryan Sessegnon. A free header missed by Mitrovic. It could have been a completely different game if Arsenal were against a better side. Gooners, we want to hear from you on 0203 606 0315. Are you concerned about Manchester United breathing down your neck? Will you be able to catch Chelsea and your bitter rivals Tottenham in the top 4 race? And defensively, can you hang on? Can you continue to play this way and keep getting away with these, I wouldn't say lucky results, but games where better sides are going to punish you? Will you be successful in the Europa League and that top 4 race? Is it over because you defensively are very poor? Joined in the studio today by Neeks. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, Terry. I'm slightly disappointed. 2019 is no different to 2018 so far. It's just woken up and it's the same old country, same old place. Nothing's really changed.
Nothing does change overnight.
People said, this is their year, and I'm still waiting for it. So, I know it's only 16 hours into it, but we'll see what those people do.
I find people that share it all on social media. I'm going to do this. I'm going to slay 2019. I doubt it. Just keep your mouth shut. Get your business done.
Yeah.
Go home to your family. Just hush your mouth until then. You know what I mean? Straight up. Arsenal today. I mean, are you capturing this, Javern? Cool. Give me your overview on how they played, their performance. Were they worthy? Did they warrant and were they worthy of a 4-1 victory today? I
think I'm not surprised by the result. I'm not even surprised by the scoreline. It's a scoreline that I think I predicted about 3-1 to Arsenal. Fulham have struggled defensively all season. I think they've maybe kept 2 clean sheets all season, 1 being since Van Riery's joined. He has made them a bit tighter at the back, but Fulham has struggled when they go away to the big sides. 4-1 to Man United, 5-2 actually. They lost at home to Arsenal in the reverse fixture. And Arsenal score goals. But also, I'm not surprised by the performance in terms of the amount of chances that Arsenal conceded to Fulham. I've seen a lot of games of Arsenal this season, and even during that unbeaten run, I was saying, if they play a better side, they're going to lose. And we saw last week they played a much better side than they had faced all season, and they got battered because you can't give away those chances against a big side. Against the likes of Fulham, they've got away with it. As you said in the opening, Ryan Sessegnon missed 2 gilt-edged, glorious opportunities. One of them, he missed the ball completely. And this was all at 0-0. Later on, obviously, Mitrovic missed a free header. And between that, Fulham had a lot of different openings. So the questions still remain, some that I've asked from the beginning of the season, speaking to Arsenal fans at the grounds. Has anything really changed? When it comes to defending, has anything really changed from the Wenger era? And then possibly, even if you look at the points tally, at least especially before this game, they were only 1 point better off than at the same stage under Wenger. So has much really changed at Arsenal? But in terms of this game, I think it's job done for Arsenal. 4-1 is a score that they really should have expected. And of course, Aubameyang back on the score sheet again, top goal scorer in the Premier League.
For me, there have been improvements under Unai Emery. I do feel that he has been sold a little bit short by the board. I don't think a big enough investment was made in the summer. Javern, could you go grab the stuff from the door? Cheers. I ordered food and it was like an hour late and it's just arrived now. And
he must be watching the Arsenal game.
Yeah, that's why they were late. God damn, I'm not gonna. Yeah, but I think there have been improvements. But today reminded me of a lot of those games in Arsenal's 22-game unbeaten run, where on another day it could have been very, very different. And I get the sort of the old adage of, you know, if my auntie had balls, she'd be my uncle, and I understand that. But because there's this consistent thread and theme with Arsenal that they concede a lot of opportunities, they get lucky in some games. When they have played the biggest, I mean, they played the worst Man United team for 30 years. Statistically true. And they still couldn't beat them. And it's like the lowest United have been in 30-odd years. And United still probably looked like the better footballing team on the day than them. They were still able to rip them apart. And Arsenal need to improve on that, because the amount of chances they leaked today, any team from, say, 10th and above, Everton, Watford, Wolves, Leicester, United, Chelsea, Spurs, City, Liverpool, would destroy them if they played like that.
Well, the reality is, as we saw last season with Liverpool, attack will only get you so far. Liverpool played some scintillating attacking football last season.
Yeah,
they finished 4th in the league, 0 trophies. This season, they've strengthened at the back. They've still played very good attacking football, and it's got better and better as the season's gone by. But they're top of the league, 7 points clear. So, as good as Arsenal attack is, and they've got Aubameyang, they've got Lacazette, they've probably got the 2 best striking options out of anyone in the league. When you consider the problems that Man United, Chelsea have had this season. But unless you tighten up at the back, it's going to come and bite you. And yeah, you get away with it in a game against Fulham, and you'll get away with it in another game. But we've seen even who did they play recently? Was it Brighton, where they drew 1-1?
1-1, yeah,
1-1. Long balls over the top, and the defense is struggling. Now, I understand they've got defensive issues, but I just don't think their defenders are good enough. Full stop. Whether it's the first choice, second choice, third choice, I just don't think they're good enough.
I was going to ask you, do you think that the issues are Unai Emery's tactics? Do you think that it's naivety, not understanding the Premier League? Or, as you say, is it just about, with what they've brought into the club, with the players that were already there, defensively, their players are just substandard?
I think for me, it's the players. 100%. I'm not saying the manager has no impact, but it's the players, and I'll tell you why. Manchester United, we had probably the greatest in our era anyway, defensive coach in our at Manchester United the last couple of years. But because the quality of the players were poor, we were still conceding goals and chances. Of course, last year we had David De Gea on top form, so the goals was tally was low, conceded. This year he hasn't been at his best form, and we've conceded a staggering amount of goals. Because if there's only so much you can, teach a player or get them to play a certain amount, if their ability isn't good enough. So what I think Emery's done, which what I think Klopp did last year, and maybe what Ole Solskjaer is doing this year, you play to your strengths. You accept that you are going to concede chances, whatever tactics you play. You accept you are going to concede goals, whatever formation, how many players you put at the back, but you play to your strengths. Well, if you score 2, we'll score 3. If you score 4, we score 5. So in the majority of games in the season, it will definitely work.
Yeah.
But yeah, across the course of the season, you are going to struggle. But, they've got 3 points. They're still, ahead of Manchester United in the race for 5th. I guess, because I think
that weird race.
I know. I just think 4th is a bit.
We're going to go to Arsenal fans and talk about it in a bit more detail a little bit later. About, are they fearful of Man United's resurgence? Can they catch Chelsea? When you look at Arsenal now, though, do you still make them outside favourites to make it into the top 4? Do you think they have an opportunity to make it?
Arsenal are finishing 6th this season.
6th.
Arsenal are finishing behind Manchester United. And they might say I'm gassed because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I'm not 100% gassed, but we are actually playing much closer to our ability. I know it's only Bournemouth, as people say, it's only Huddersfield, only Cardiff. But the fact that we've beat them, 5-1, 3-1, 4-1, is the ability where we're playing at our, I'll say our best. You can't expect to beat them 7-0. And I think at our best, we are comfortably better than this Arsenal team. I think Chelsea and Spurs, of course, they've in the last few years, they've performed much better than us. Chelsea have won a Premier League title. Spurs have consistently been in a title race. But as far as Arsenal are concerned, if we perform at our best and they perform at their best, we are comfortably better than them. So, yeah, Arsenal occupy 5th at the moment. It's not a position that I'm fighting for per se, but 5th is closer to 4th, so we need to get there first if we are to challenge 4. But I think as far as top 4 goes, yeah, Arsenal are the third best team in London.
And I get that. In terms of Arsenal's play today, we spoke about them defensively being poor. When you look at them as an attacking unit, another 4 goals. I mean, they've scored a fair amount of goals this year. I think I was looking earlier, 42 goals they've scored, which puts them, within that same ballpark. Chelsea on 38, Spurs 44, Liverpool 48. Yeah, they've scored a fair amount of goals. As an attacking unit, you look at the way they move in between the lines. You look at the not just, they've got great skill, they've got great vision from players that they have, but they've also got, for me, a lot more speed in their attack now as well. Do you look at Arsenal as an attacking threat and think it's good enough to start challenging for major honours again? Is it just about fixing defensively? So when you look at like Aubameyang, Lacazette today, how good are those two players for you?
Well, I think when you've got 2 strikers, and especially a striker of Aubameyang's ability, you have a chance of challenging for any honours, because you get a chance, you generally expect to score. And to be fair, today he missed a few sitters. Even the Ramsey's goal, his shot hit the post, came back to Ramsey, he should have scored it. And there was a one-on-one that he tried to chip the keeper, decent save. And I think there was another chance, a header, that I think he should have scored. But the man has got 25 goals in 34 Premier League games since he joined Arsenal. That's a 25 to 30 goal a season striker.
Yes.
And if you got that, you've got a chance in terms of challenging. We've seen what Spurs have with Harry Kane. And I think they do need to add some, because their width in their game comes from their fullbacks, or their wing backs as they play. Kolasinac, I think, is a very good attacking fullback. And then obviously if Bellerin is fit,
Maitland-Niles is there.
Maitland-Niles there at the moment. Yeah. I'm not 100% sold on him in that position.
I was always told by Gooners he was a holding midfield player.
He is, but every time he plays left back, right back, right wing back.
Yeah.
I think even against Liverpool, he played on the right wing of a front three.
Yeah.
But I think they need to bring some attacking width in terms of players who can play. At the moment, like in this game, they had Lacazette playing through the middle at the beginning, and Aubameyang and obviously Iwobi out wide. And to kind of change the game, they took off Lacazette, put Aubameyang through the middle. But their wide options are who? Mkhitaryan, he has no pace. Even Iwobi has a lack of pace. Ozil has 0 pace. They have a lack of attacking width that can really frighten a defence. And pace always frightens defence. So I think first and foremost, focus on defence, because you're getting goals at the other end. But to add another dimension to their attack, I think they definitely need to look for some wide pace in January if you can, but definitely in the summer.
I get that. Javon, thanks for capturing that, mate. Appreciate that. What we'll do, we're going to jump onto some of your phone calls now, but whatever platform you're watching on, please do us a massive favour. Smash the like button and also hit the share button as well. So put something out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whichever platforms you use. Please share that for us, whether you're watching on UFF, my channel, The Football Terrace, or of course AFTV. Please give that a share and get that out there.
Can I just there's a couple of comments on the UFF. One from Sharafaddin Adam. They think United will finish top 4. No. I said Man United will finish above Arsenal, which at the moment is 5th. I think 8 points behind Chelsea. It's a big gap to close. Yeah. Chelsea, they're not playing great, but they're winning games. And until they drop a certain amount of points, until we play certain teams like Spurs, like Chelsea, like Liverpool, we don't really know where we're at. So we'll see about that. Another comment from Simon Allen. He asked me, do you think that Arsenal and Man United are similar in regards to poor defence, good attack? I feel like Oli doesn't have what it takes to change the defence to hold up against better sides. We've got some talent in defence, the likes of Lindelof, Shaw, Dalot. I think what Man United's defence is lacking is a Van Dijk figure. Liverpool have only changed, realistically, that one person from last year. They brought in that, and everyone around him has looked completely different. The talent of Gomez, the talent of Trent, the talent of Robertson was always there, but they've got someone like Van Dijk to organise it. If Man United can get someone of that experience, Alderweireld, for example, who can organise the talent around him, then we'll see. But whether that happens under Oli or whether that happens with the new manager in the summer, we have to wait and see.
Absolutely. We ready with those calls, J-Ron? Let's get them on the air. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
My name is Mikhail.
Mikhail?
Yes.
How are you doing, mate? Who do you support?
I support Arsenal.
Okay, mate. You just won 4-1. Are you happy with the victory? Or are you still worried about the defensive frailties of your team?
Yeah, I'm happy with the victory, but I feel defensively we still have major problems. So like Mustafi, for example, he wasn't really great today. He could have done better. I mean, Mandzukic, he could have scored, 1 or 2 or 3 goals today.
Mitrovic.
Yeah, Mitrovic. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, that would be. If I was an Arsenal fan, that would be my concern. I would be legitimately concerned that we're leaking so many opportunities to our opponents, and you've seen already when you play better teams, they capitalise on them. Who do you hold accountable for that? Is it the fact the players aren't good enough, or is Unai Emery's tactics and his style and his philosophy making it easy for teams to break you down and get at you?
I think the players are not good enough. Some of our defence is just not good enough. I mean, Mustafi was making some mistakes today.
Yeah.
Mitrovic, he could, like I said, Mitrovic could have scored 2 or 3 goals. So I think it's our players. I think we need to get at least 3 or 4 centre backs this window.
I got a question. Koscielny, obviously, in the past, he's been spoken about as the best centre back in England. Obviously, this was I would say a couple of years ago at least. Obviously, he's had his injury issues. How long would you give him anyway, as an Arsenal fan, to kind of get back to his best before you say, maybe he's never going to get back there? End of this season? I don't know. How long would you give him?
I'll probably give him maybe 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
Because he's just come up for injury, so it does take time for a player like Koscielny with his age to recover fully. So I'll probably give him around 3 or 4 months to fully recover, and then I think that's when Koscielny can be called maybe the best centre back in the Premier League.
What?
So I think around 3 or 4 months' time, once Koscielny fully recovers,
he'll be the best centre back in the Premier League.
Yeah, probably.
The thing is,
sorry.
The thing is,
no, sorry. Happy New Year.
As I said, well,
you've been drinking, boy.
Maybe 2019 is going to be better than I expected. But no, that's the thing.
I'm joking.
Look, if that's your opinion, mate, stand by it. Listen, thanks for that call, mate. Thank you. Cheers. Look,
that's the thing.
I didn't mean to laugh, but I was like, first time I heard it, I was like,
you said it. The thing is, a few years ago, Arsenal fans were speaking about him as the best centre back in the Premier League, and at the time, I said he's a very good centre back, but I was in complete disagreement at the time. Aspilicueta was playing centre back for Chelsea. Obviously, they were still Alderweireld, etc. I think now it's not even a question. He's nowhere near, not even in the top 5. And with his age and the injury, I can't even see him getting back up there. But I hope he was joking. I really do. Because Koscielny's not even the best defender at Arsenal anymore. He's not even.
He wouldn't be the best defender in this room. I'm serious. We've got damp proof in the walls that's better defending than he is.
You're better than Koscielny.
Absolutely. Let's take another call on the air, please, J-Rock. Cheers, mate. Can't believe it. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Ahmed.
Hello, Ahmed. Who do you support, mate?
Chelsea.
Great, good. Could you turn the device down in the background?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Could you turn the device down in the background?
Yeah, I told him right now.
Cheers. What's on your mind? What do you want to say?
Can you shut up, mate? Listen, can you repeat again?
What would you like to say, mate?
What I think about Arsenal.
Yeah, go on. As a Chelsea fan, what do you think?
I think Arsenal is not going to win the league in 10 years, mate.
In 10 years? Why? Why are Arsenal not going to win the league within 10 years?
My opinion is that the owner is reluctant to sign any players for them. If Arsenal's owner was serious right now, he would sign Koulibaly or a top defender in this January window.
Yeah, I mean, Koulibaly is going to cost you about between 90 and 110 million pounds.
Didn't they reject 100 million pounds? It was rumours last year.
They rejected a 95 million pound bid from Manchester United. Could you see Arsenal ever spending that much money on a defender?
Nah, I don't see it. I don't see them spending over 100 million or one transfer on a one player.
Well, look, we know that Chelsea has spent money big in the past, Man United and of course City, Liverpool bowed down to that this summer and realised, look, we need to improve the squad in 3 or 4 positions, but let's buy top quality. They did that. I agree with you. I don't think Arsenal are there yet mentally. I don't think their owners are in that space where... Because that's what... If Arsenal went out this summer and bought 3 players for all £80 million each and they were top quality players, you would see an instant improvement to this
How much did they
side.
spend on Aubameyang?
That's 6... Oh, I don't even know. I'll find
it was about
50, 60 million.
Yeah, let's say 60 million, and they spent what 40 million on Lacazette. So I'm not saying this exactly, but the reality is where Arsenal are at now, and even you could say where football is, everyone can play. Like everyone can actually play with the ball on the floor. The difference in winning the titles is the defense. That's why defenders are costing so much. So if they're willing to spend 60 million on Aubameyang and 40 million on Lacazette, and they're willing to give Ozil 300,000 a week, they should be as willing, if the money's available, to spend that on a centre-back. Because right now, as Van Dijk has shown, a centre-back is key. A goalkeeper is key if you're going to go win the league.
Goalkeepers are the same, aren't they?
70 million,
goalkeepers are all now... Because
Alisson.
people are now starting to recognise the value of these players. And I'm glad it's happening because for years, when it comes to voting for the best player in the world, when it comes to who the most famous players are, it's always the attackers and the guys with the great skills. And yes, watching Messi run with the ball, watching what Zidane did years ago, it's mesmerising and it's brilliant. But we often... I think there's this phenomenon, especially with modern-day football fans, where they care too much about the skills and the goals are great and they're entertaining, but that's not the fundamentals of football. Football is a team sport, and you can have a Messi, you can have Messi, Ronaldo, and Neymar up front for you. But if you have Titus Bramble at the back, you're not winning titles. You need quality defenders.
Big up Titus Shambles.
Titus Bramble, much better baller than I am. But it's true. If you have an average goalkeeper and an average defence, but the better attacking players with great flair, great technique, you're not winning major trophies.
When I mention,
I think Arsenal needs at least 3 more players, 4 players at least. They need their wingers. They need at least two more centre backs to challenge for the title.
When I mention Real Madrid Galacticos, who do you initially think of? What players?
Zidane, Ronaldo, Beckham,
Figo,
yeah.
But
Roberto Carlos.
During that time, the early 2000s, the key player in that Galacticos was called Makelele. As soon as he left, Chelsea went and won the 2 Premier Leagues in a row, Champions League semi-finals. Real Madrid couldn't get past the last 16, didn't win a Champions League after Ronaldo, Brazilian Ronaldo, joined. That defensive player has been underrated for so long, but they've been so important.
The summer of 2006, Arsenal have been, Chelsea have been champions 2 years running. Arsenal the 3rd year before that. Man United already had at that stage a lot of top players. Vidic was there, Evra was there, Rooney, Ronaldo, Rio, Van der Sar. It was a signing of Michael Carrick, the shielding that he gave to the team. I always look at him as the gravy on the Sunday roast. He just tipped it off and made it perfect. Suddenly the team clicked into gear, and I think that's what Arsenal were missing. They've gone and got Torreira, who I think is going to go on to be a good player, but they need a couple of really good centre-backs at the back to orchestrate them. And as Neek spoke about earlier, pacey, but also a very skillful, intricate attacking player with great vision. They need that combination. But they've got great vision in Ozil, but no speed and no sort of determination. They have great finishing ability in Aubameyang, but there's not a great deal of creativity. They've got lots of players that are like masters of one thing. They need to go out and find someone that's an absolute expert, like an Anthony Martial, can take people on, can score goals, can create, can cross. They need someone of that ilk to bring in. Really great call, mate. Thank you very, very much. He was about 3 times. I swear he was arguing with someone.
Someone in the background,
his little brother or something. Like twice he would just shut up, and I was like, oh, he's talking to me. I was like, wow, man, happy New Year to you too, brother. There we go. Let's do another call, Javan, then we're going to do a little caption. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
My name is Saracen. How you doing? Happy New Year to you both and all the viewers that are watching out there.
Cheers, Saracen. Is that your real name?
Mate, that's my name on social media.
Ah, okay, cool. I was going to say that.
Everyone knows me by.
There we go. Cool. No problem, Saracen. Who do you support?
I'm an Arsenal fan.
Okay, tell us what you made of today's game.
I thought it was Harrison for a second.
Today's game, mate. I think we got away with one. I was a bit worried when it went down when it was 2-1, but luckily we saw it through. But we shouldn't have to feel that tension as Arsenal fans against Fulham, mate. It's not good enough. You know, I think a lot of Arsenal fans could probably relate to that. And I've got a few. I want to give you a few signings, 3 signings that I think will instantly make us better. 2 will be, I think most people will agree with me. 1, I think, will be very controversial.
Go on, give us the first 2 that you think everyone will agree with.
The first one, I think, will improve us immediately. He's played with Socrates before. He's had a fantastic partnership with Socrates. He hasn't done well at Bayern Munich as well as he's liked, but he's got lots of experience. Played with Mustafi, or improved Mustafi. First one's Matt Hummels.
I thought we were going
to. And I think he's a great leader. And I think he's a brilliant. He was probably one of the best centre backs a few years ago in the world.
Yep.
So I think Matt Hummels, we could get him under 30 million. Is around about what you could get him at right now.
And just in terms of your knowledge on the situation, Saracen, are Bayern Munich willing to sell him? Is he available?
Well, apparently,
would he want to leave to come to Arsenal?
Yeah, well, apparently Chelsea are putting a bid for him. There's a few other European sides that are looking to purchase him as well, and I think it's around about 30 million mark, and I think Hummels will be brilliant.
Do you want to know one issue you have with Hummels? He hasn't. He's not completed more than 30 league games in a season since 2012. He averages around 25. Like he does have problems with injuries. Only played 9 league games this season for Bayern Munich. So Arsenal already have a tremendous issue with keeping players fit, having their best players available. Would you not be concerned that Hummels could, for as great as a defender that he is, could end up being your version of Bastian Schweinsteiger, coming in, being past his best and injury prone?
I don't think so. I think that, look, we've got Koscielny, who's coming back. I don't think he's going to be the best player in the Premiership. That did make me chuckle a little bit, but or best defender in the Premiership. But Koscielny, I think people are being overly harsh with him. He's come back from a very, very harsh injury, and we've rushed him back, and he's been forced to play a lot of minutes in a very short period of time. So I think with him, you got Manolas, who's young. You know, him and the team, he'll be great at coaching as well, like, the youngsters. You've got him and Socrates, who are excellent at Dortmund. He's played with Mustafa. We've got some decent centre-backs. Holding's going to come back. I think him in the squad, he doesn't necessarily have to play every single game, but, it will give us another option.
Okay.
So
who's the second person?
Second one, I think, and he is available, and I think he's got pace, he's got lots of experience, I think he's quality, and I think he's very unlucky in the side that he's in, is Nathaniel Klein. I think he's a great player. He's intelligent as well, former England international. I think those two will be, I think he will give us
is he
a bit more surety at the back.
Is he a massive upgrade on Bellerin? I think defensively he's better, definitely.
Well, personally, I don't want to be a bit controversial. I don't even know if Bellerin's bloody injured with the coat he was wearing today. I think, look, we've got players that have got weak mentality or have got low IQ, like Xhaka. We've got players like Mustafi, low IQ. We've got bottlers like, these are Arsenal. I'm a big fan of Mesut Ozil, but weak mentality. Bellerin, weak mentality. We need players that are smart.
Do you know what? When you say Arsenal like this weak mentality, this might be controversial. It's like vegan FC. It's just like triggered by everything, but a little bit weak when they go and get tough because there's a lack of nutrients. Do you get what I mean? Like vegan FC is what we should be calling Arsenal.
Who's the third one? Who's the third defender?
Sorry. Just on Nathaniel Klein. Sorry, mate. Sorry. Slow down. On Nathaniel Klein.
Yeah.
I wanted to again. I think he's a very good defender. He played 3 games last season. He's played 3 games this year. Another guy who, yes, he's a little bit younger than Matt Hummels. What is he? He's got to be in his late 20s now. 27. He's going to turn 28 this season.
27, yeah.
He's another guy that's older, more experienced, which is great, but who's had huge injury problems. That would be, again, I know it's the same argument again, but he's played 6 games in the Premier League in 2 years. Would that not be a concern for you?
No, I tell you why it would be a concern for me, because we don't have a big enough squad at the moment, mate. You look at we've got obviously. I thought Maitland-Niles did all right today. He's struggled in the big games. But you got Bellerin and you got Niles, who's been forced to play there. Well, we know he's centre midfield. So I think Klein again. You can rotate them. You can rotate them, and in a squad, I think Klein. He was pushed as well. When his injuries, he's playing regularly. Look at his stats before that. He was playing regularly. So I think he'll be a great person within the squad. Like I said, former England international, great pace, great crossover of the ball. I think he would, and he, again, available, and he wouldn't break the bank for us. We're talking about January signings that will get us top 4. So Hummels, Klein, and the last
who's number 3? Yeah, who's number 3? The guy that was.
This is a controversial one.
Controversial one.
It's going to be a controversial one. So let's see what the people say in the comments. I think, and I'm gonna break this down first. Former Arsenal legend, well, maybe not legend, but he certainly was a legend for a little while before he left us. Great passer of the ball, great vision. If we can rejuvenate him, Cesc Fabregas.
I thought you were going to say Jack Wilshere for a second.
I was going to say Cazorla.
Cesc Fabregas back at Arsenal.
I think so. Listen,
tell us why. What would he bring? What would he bring to this Arsenal team now that would make you improve, bringing Cesc Fabregas in January?
I think Cesc Fabregas has got incredible vision. He's got incredible experience at the top level. We're talking like Champions League, Barcelona. He's never been very pacey anyway, has he?
No.
He's got that amazing eye. And, when he was at Arsenal, he had grit, mate. Remember, he was our captain. He would get stuck in there as well. When I'm talking about higher IQ players, he's got good IQ, footballing IQ. He's not a butler either. So I think get him in. I'm saying, look, these are temporary solutions until the summer window. These will get us above Manchester United. These will get us above.
I got a question.
Get us top 4.
I got a question.
Once we're in top 4, we can attract better players once we're in the Champions League.
If Chelsea wanted Ozil as a swap for Cesc Fabregas, would you do it?
Sorry, I didn't hear you, mate.
If Chelsea wanted a swap Ozil for Fabregas, would you do that?
To be honest with you, right now, I probably would, mate. Because Ozil's, if you read his autobiography, mate, he struggles. The sort of football Arsenal are looking to play under Emery, high tempo, fast pace. Ozil's great, and I've got Ozil at the back of my shirt, and I've been a big fan of Ozil.
So when you talk about Fabregas coming in, who does he replace in your midfield? Do you either drop Xhaka or do you drop the Latino Scott Parker?
Oh, Xhaka, mate, I don't think Xhaka's good enough. I never thought Xhaka was good enough. I've given him the benefit of the doubt under Emery. I think he's awful, mate. I think he's got, when I talk about low IQ, I think Xhaka has got low, and I think immediately. People are talking about Rabiot and all these other. We got to be realistic. I'm talking about January transfer signings. So I think Fabregas is available. He wants to leave. We could get him probably at a low price, and why not? I think he'll be a great link-up player for Aubameyang and for Lacazette. He might even teach Iwobi how to pass better. So
don't say it for Have Hope and Kelechi to hear you.
Yeah, Have Hope. What the Have Hope calls him is the
Nigerian Messi.
Nigerian Messi.
Yeah. Too many missed passes, mate. Too many missed passes. He's not good enough. We've got too many players who aren't going to get. When you think of top 4, we've got so many players in our squad at the moment that are not top 4 quality, mate. And that's the reality. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather give Ryan Nielsen, if we can get him back from Hoffenheim, I'd rather give him a chance above Iwobi. He'll do one pass out of 28 passes. He'll do one, and Kelechi will. And I checked that stat about him being the best in Europe for passing. It's nonsense, mate. He's a liar.
There's a joke in there somewhere, but I think I'll be shut down to say it. Listen, really appreciate your call, mate. Thank you very, very much. Take care. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Have a good year. All
you too. Happy New Year.
Nitsuj newbie in the comments said this caller has a low IQ.
Do you know what though? what I give the caller credit for is what most of the people that call this show do. They ring up and they put their point across, and their rationale is always, well, that's because it's what I think. People live in this, I don't know, it's this postmodern world where it's my opinion. You shouldn't challenge what. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me to explain myself. It's just what I think. It's at least he had the. Yeah, exactly. I didn't agree with his choices.
But there was a rationale behind why he chose
He has a
them.
rationale where if you can't explain, we have it in here all the time. You know, Eden Hazard is the best player in the Premier League, no debate. Tell me why there's no debate, because there just isn't. It's like, well, that's not an argument. You can just make those statements, but you look a fool. Yeah, you do have hope. The debate is coming soon, though. The Eden Hazard, is he the best player in the league debate? We've got a lot of people that want to get involved in that. I've got my new stalker on Twitter, Daniel. Or the man just you
just attract them, innit?
I do attract stalkers. I do attract these stalkers. He's his sole objective in life is to try and get one over on me. You can tell, like, everything I say, he pulls it up, and it's like, mate, cool. Like, he just said to me the other day, he goes, I think I really get under your skin and intimidate you.
Who does he support? Liverpool?
Chelsea.
Oh, Chelsea.
And
I think I know.
He's the guy. Like, he's the guy that was like, this was his response to, like, you know, when the Chelsea fans were like, with all the racism stuff. He was like, yeah, but that's not the Chelsea I know and love. I'm like, oh, you know, when someone says that, it's just like, bruv, that's just like saying I'm not racist, but yeah, it's one of them ones. But Javerne, where you gone, mate? Oh, there he is. He just disappeared. I was like, Javerne, can you capture this for us, please? Is that being done? Cheers, mate. I want to ask you this question. You're a Man United fan. Obviously, you're sitting there now. Lots of Arsenal fans watching, so we will take calls on this subject matter. Tell everybody about your conversation with Robbie in terms of, you did a podcast recently with Robbie Lyle from AFTV, and you said that.
Okay, yeah.
So give us a flavour of that.
I was on the Woeful Fan Show podcast, which is produced by UFF for Channel 4, and this was it was just after the Liverpool game, and if I'm correct, it was the day after Mourinho had been sacked. Yes. So obviously, when I was planning on going on there, it was all right. We've lost 3-1, but then that morning of the day after, it was like, okay, so we got a bit to cheer about as Man United fans, because times are changing. Which obviously Robbie was not happy about. He was absolutely fuming that Mourinho had been sacked, as most non-Man United fans were. But he kept making these digs about Manchester United. Just in terms of, look what Arsenal's done compared to where we are, etc. And the point I was making to him was that Arsenal went on this 15-game unbeaten run
in the league.
22 in all competitions. But I keep it at 15 because who cares about the Europa League and Capital One? It suits their agenda to say 22, but these are competitions that, especially at this stage, mean very little. So it's 15-game unbeaten run in the league. But where were they? They were still 5th. They were still behind Spurs. They were still behind. This is even after they beat Spurs in the derby. Yeah. They were still behind Spurs. They were still behind Chelsea. And obviously right now they're still behind both. 15 game unbeaten run. And now you're struggling to hang on to 5th place behind Manchester United. 15 game unbeaten run. And you were 1 point better off than under Wenger at the same stage. But Arsenal fans have been talking and trying to banter Manchester United fans like they have achieved anything. And they really haven't achieved anything. When you actually look at the hard facts of it, it's actually embarrassing that they've done so much, but actually achieved so little in that period. And the reality is, Manchester United, as I said, at their best, are better than Arsenal. So it was only a matter of time before we do actually overtake them. At our worst, they couldn't beat us in that 2-2 game. Even under Moyes, at our worst, they couldn't beat us at Old Trafford. Yeah. I'll just say, look, Man United, Robbie was like, oh yes, we're the Man United, the banter club now. And I just had to say, no, listen, Robbie, we're not. That's still your title. Own it. You're still the banter club. And as it's proved, they had 5 months of a bit of banter in Manchester United. And, right now they're above them, but everyone's talking about how embarrassing Arsenal are. So it's just a bit of a reality check.
Yeah, and did you think as well, I think, look, the two clubs that are not worried about Man United right now, I think, are City and Liverpool, because they are solely focused on their title race. But what I've noticed from the other top 6 sides, so Spurs and Chelsea, and predominantly Arsenal, though, since the Jose Mourinho sacking and the 3 dominant victories on the bounce, hopefully a 4th against Newcastle, there's been almost this maybe it's fear, a bit of anger, a bit of frustration. They were so hoping, all 3 of those clubs, and especially Arsenal, that Jose would stay for the remainder of the season. Maybe some of the spotlight wasn't on them for underachieving because Man United were doing so badly. And then with Ollie coming in, there was still a lot of laughter. Oh, you know, look at the Cardiff record, look at this. And you can still see the shade being thrown in terms of, well, you've only beaten 3 teams in the bottom half of the league. Yeah. But it wasn't like Arsenal beating Fulham today, where Fulham could have been 2 or 3-0 ahead. We were dominant.
Yeah.
We
and it's like, oh, wow, we conceded again, rather than, oh, my God, we could have conceded 3 or 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that.
And we've looked like Man United of old. Now, we all know there's a long way to go. But do you think, in your heart of hearts, do you feel that Arsenal are legitimately fearful of this current Manchester United team under Ollie, and what the implications of that will mean for them going forward?
I'm gonna go down the list of the 3 teams you're talking about. Spurs, they're genuinely fearful that they're going to lose Mauricio Pochettino, and possibly some players such as Alderweireld because of his contract situation. And we know that Mourinho anyway wanted him in the summer. We don't know what the new manager, but the fact that Mourinho got sacked, from that moment right up until we get our permanent manager, they are going to be fearful that Mauricio Pochettino joins Manchester United. Chelsea, well, obviously they have a long...
So let me ask you on Spurs quickly. So Spurs would want Ollie to do a brilliant job?
Yes, they would. Okay. Because it means that there's more chance he's going to stay, of course. Mourinho, Chelsea, obviously there's a long history of Mourinho and Chelsea, and the similarities between what's happened with us. So yeah, when he's at Man United versus what happened at Chelsea. So there's always going to be that link. Arsenal are genuinely worried about on the pitch, because, as I said, at our best, I think we are better than them. They know that. When they talk about the players that we've got, they haven't got a Paul Pogba.
No.
They haven't got an Anthony Martial. What they do have is an Aubameyang. Cool, and we don't have an Aubameyang. But we have, in terms of our front 3, I would say, at their best, are better. I would take Martial, Rashford, and obviously we'll see if Sanchez can get back to his best, and the way we're playing now, over an Aubameyang pushed out wide, Lacazette through the middle, and a so-called Nigerian Messi who's anything but that. Their best player, who's supposed to be anyway, their star man, doesn't even get in the team anymore, which is Ozil. The manager wants to ship him out. Our best player has now he's now kind of remembered what it is to play for Manchester United, and he's putting in the performances which match the price tag which people have been getting onto him about for so long. And they are genuinely worried that if we get back to our best, what it does mean is that there's another team they're gonna have to fight to get back to what their legend Wenger has classed as a trophy, which is 4th place. And if they can't get the trophy of 4th place, what's their purpose? Because they ain't winning the title. They ain't winning the Champions League. It's just going to be another season in the Europa League.
And like the previous caller said, they're not at a stage where they're going to start spending the big money to bring in the players. They know if Man United come back to their graces. I think the Spurs thing is, I think a lot of us, and I'm a United fan, hoping you hope that Poch is going to go soon, and I kind of hope that the Spurs bus, the train they're on at the moment, crumbles, because because I want, no disrespect to Spurs, but I don't want to be in right now. Spurs are an obstacle in my club's way of getting back to the top. They're one of 3 obstacles.
I fear more Chelsea in terms of a potential title race in future seasons. I fear Chelsea more than I do Spurs. I don't mind Spurs being there or thereabouts, but I don't ever see them winning the Premier League.
I get that, but they're an obstacle. But I hope that I hope we don't have to jump past them. I hope they crumble away and they're not even in the way anymore. Chelsea, we know they're always going to be, a yo-yo club in terms of one season they're going to be right up there, then they might drop down a little bit. In the other 2 teams, City and Liverpool, we know are there. Arsenal, though, as you say, they've got that fear because all these teams are better than them. And what's next for them? At least with Man United, at least with Chelsea, we know if we need better players, we'll go and spend the money, we'll bring those people in. I think the other fear that Arsenal fans have got right now, when they've seen what Pogba has gone out and done. I mean, the performances, the goals and the assists in the last 3 games is something you don't see from central midfielders. And if he continues in that vein, wow. But their biggest fear is that there's a certain young, well, old now I suppose, forward who came to Manchester United 12 months ago, who has been, bluntly, he's been a 4 out of 10. He's been an awful player in the Jose era. But we also saw players such as Rashford and Pogba and Martial struggle in the Jose era, who have just gone bang back into life. Matic, bang, back into life. I know for a fact that Arsenal fans, as much as, you know, if we finish 5th and they finish 6th, I'm not going to celebrate being the tallest dwarf. I'm not going to celebrate that. But what Arsenal fans are fearful of is United getting back to their best and challenging again next year. But that the one little sort of, the end of last season, the one sort of little victory they had is their best player left in Sanchez and flopped.
Yeah.
If he clicks back into gear as well, and if Man United start to produce these performances against the big teams again, Arsenal fans are not going to know what to do with themselves. It's the only, in the last 10 years, that transfer to us is their only sort of bit of banter they've won.
Yeah, literally. Because every other transfer between the two clubs has been in Manchester United's favour, whether it's Sylvester going to them, Welbeck going to them, or obviously Robin Van Persie famously coming to us. I didn't watch the video, but I think there was I think it was on AFTV actually, with the top 10, something to do with players that have left the Arsenal in terms of their like kind of pagans, they will say.
Yeah.
In terms of players that left Arsenal. And the thumbnail was Sanchez. I don't know what rank he came in the 10. He could have been top. Van Persie might have been top. I'm not sure. But they're loving it. Like every time Sanchez played, oh, how many passes did he misplace? And I know it wasn't Man United fans creating these or researching these stats. It was definitely Arsenal fans going out there trying to find every reason to justify, you could say, a victory in selling Sanchez to get Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan has done slightly, minimally better than Sanchez, statistically wise anyway, at Arsenal. But he's been a flop as well.
Yeah,
he's been a flop. And we sold him at a time when he wasn't even performing for us. They sold Sanchez to us when he was still their best player.
Exactly.
So I just hope, and we hope that we get what we paid for, and I hope that he does. I don't hope that he gets back to his best to spite Arsenal fans. I hope that he does it for Manchester United. But I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna.
Nice side order.
Of course it is. I'm not gonna shy away from a little.
And that's, as I say, I think you're right. That's why I do think they fear Man United, because we are going to become a big obstacle, an additional obstacle in their way to getting back into the top 4. They've also liked to be able to call us the banter club rather than them. The sort of ex-great club label has come back a bit this year. They've all those things where we can actually. Jesus, Javern, that really hurt my ears. Stop. Gee, honestly, I think I'm deaf. They've loved all those things, but the simple fundamental facts of the matter remain that Arsenal are absolutely cacking themselves at the minute at the resurgence of Man United, and I think Sanchez plays a huge part in that. So
and the thing they always throw out, look how much you spent and you're still crap. The reality is they're actually jealous that we can actually spend it, and as you said. I'm not saying you can just keep throwing out money at things to make them better, but it definitely helps. And what they don't have is that power to assist a manager in getting back there. So it's all going to have to be through organic growth. And the reality, we spoke about it during the match. People laud this Arsenal academy. How much players have actually come out of this academy in recent years? When you compare to Manchester United,
none.
I think it was. The 4 players on the pitch against Huddersfield, the front 4, Lingard, Rashford, Pogba,
and Martial.
Was it Martial? I think there was another academy player on the pitch.
Well, Gomez came on.
Gomez came on. So there was 4 of them. But where are Arsenal? Who are Arsenal's academy players that are really making a stamp in this Premier League?
Exactly. No, I make you absolutely right on that. And you said about throwing money at things. There's a wonderful quote, a line from Del Boy in Only Fools and Horses. Somebody says to him, "Money isn't everything." He says, being rich isn't everything. And he goes, yes, but being rich certainly takes the sting out of being poor. And I love that. I really, really do. Javern, thanks for capturing that, mate. Cool. Player ratings. I'm going to hand that over to you to do. We're going to player rate the Arsenal team today. So start off with, first of all, Leno in goal. What would you give him out of 10?
I'll give him a 6. He didn't have to do any major saves. All the shots that came at him were pretty much straight at him.
Yep.
He dealt with them. The goal, he had no chance with that. So I'll give him a 6 average rating. No issues, nothing spectacular.
Okay. Mustafi?
I have to give him a 4. I think the majority of Arsenal's defensive issues, not even just in this game, but in this game specifically, he has been at fault for them. Maybe not individually, but it might be a thing where he's stepped deep when he should play them offside, or he's tried to play offside when he should drop back. And for me, he's a bit of a liability in that defense. And once Camera came on for Fulham, you saw how much he troubled the Arsenal defense.
Socrates?
I'll give Socrates a 7. We got the final assist for Aubameyang's goal. And I think I would say he's the shining light in Arsenal's defense. If you were looking for one, just in terms of defensively, he's always going in for the headers. He's always, I think there was a challenge on the far corner that I think they were winning like 3 or 4-1 at the time, but he was still going in for it, and that's what you get with a player like him. I'll give him a 7.
Okay, Koscielny.
The guy's finished. The guy is done. Arsenal fans, let it go. Let it go. And I know Emery has to play. Well, I say that he doesn't have to. He can change his formation. But he's playing this formation. He has to play him because he's lacking centre backs. But the guy is done. He's got nothing to offer to Arsenal. Maybe an advisory role as a backroom staff. I'll give him a 5.
Maitland-Niles.
I'm not going to be harsh on him. I think he's been played out of position. He has been since he's joined Arsenal. I think his first game I saw was away at Chelsea in the Capital One Cup last year, and Moses ripped him to shreds. And I felt so sorry.
Moses?
Yeah, Victor Moses.
Did you hear that, Javern?
Victor Moses, and I felt so sorry for him. I'm like, this guy ain't got the pace for this. He ain't got defensive whereabouts. So I'm not gonna be too harsh on him. I'll give him a 6.
Guendouzi. Guendouzi. I hate people say either way. The guy with a big hair.
Yeah, I know.
The B-Tech Fellaini.
I wasn't convinced by him today. He tried to dribble, but it seems like he runs down, blind alleys or into players. He tries a bit too much. Sometimes I think he needs to keep it simple. But yeah, I'll give him a 6 as well.
And how about the Swiss Gerard Xhaka?
Xhaka's poor. I know he got a goal today, and he got the opening goal at a time where Arsenal were pretty much on the back foot. You know, I'll give him a 7. He got the crucial opening goal. I'll give him a 7.
Okay. Kalashnik.
I think he was Arsenal's best player. I actually think he was brilliant. Granted, Fulham's goal came from, as in the goal scorers on the right hand side, but going forward, he was absolutely brilliant. He got an assist for, I think it was Xhaka's goal, and he should have got an assist for Aubameyang's goal. Aubameyang missed and hit the post. I'll give him an 8 out of 10.
Okay. The Nigerian Messi.
It won't be. They didn't have a terrible game, actually. I think in terms of Arsenal's attack, especially in the first half, which they weren't great, he was probably the most dangerous. You know, not including Kolasinac, he was probably the most dangerous. Yeah, I think he had a decent game. I'll give him a 7.
Okay. Laka Bloodclot Zet.
I feel sorry for Lacazette. I do because he doesn't. It's like he doesn't have the trust of the managers, and even from Wenger, like I remember they played Liverpool at the early start of last season. He was on the bench, and it was like, this is your biggest game of the season so far. And this time Aubameyang wasn't there, and he didn't start Lacazette. He got the goal. Yeah. He got a goal today, which is the job of the main striker. I was actually surprised he was taken off at the time. Yeah. When he was, I thought Aubameyang would have come off, but you know it proved to be the right decision. But as I said, he got the goal, and I'll give him a 7.
Speaking of the man, 14 goals in the Premier League now. Aubameyang, what would you rate his performance like today?
Aubameyang today, it was a bit hit and miss because he got the goal. Yeah. But he missed some good chances. That's a header that went past the near post. I thought it was in. I just expected Aubameyang, from that position, he's going to score. Went past the post. For Ramsey's goal, his shot from a couple yards hit the post, went rebounded back to the Ramsey. He had another chance when he ran through and tried to chip the keeper. And I believe in the first half he had another chance. So, 3-4 chances, big chances that he had. He only scored 1 goal. But he was playing wide for most of the game. Once he moved central, it became much more dangerous. I would give him a 7.
There we go. Thank you for capturing that, Javern. Cheers, mate. And obviously leave your comments below. Let us know your player ratings. Look, big congratulations to Arsenal. Just for an update for Gooners that are watching, Spurs are actually winning 2-0 away at Cardiff now. Goal after 3 minutes and 12 minutes from Harry Kane and Christian Eriksen, respectively. Thank you for tuning in as ever. We're back tomorrow for the Newcastle-Manchester United game. So make sure you're tuned in at full time for that. Take care of yourselves, Neeks. Thanks for coming on as always, brother. Take care. Good night. God bless.